up guys, the AIRSOFTEK here. So today I'm gonna do a little video and I'm gonna show you, if you don't know how to remove your pistol grip, your motor, and put it back in case you want to change your motor, because most AEG come with a super cheap motor and all that stuff. So that's gonna be a pretty straight up video on how to do that. That's not really the big deal, not super technical or anything, but might be good if you don't know how to do that. So on the base of the motor you have the adjustment screw that is used to adjust the height of your motor, and you can see two screws that secure the base into your pistol grip. So those most of the time are Phillips, so we're just gonna remove that. So start with the first one, it's easier, and you just put a little bit of tension on it because it's kind of spring loaded. First screw. So your two screws are removed. Well, just give it a little tap or something to let that come out. Just in case, if your motor does adjust for himself, you just have to put a little drop of blue Loctite on it. You unscrew that, you put a little drop on the screw and you screw it back, so that way your motor doesn't get out of adjustment all the time, so that's good. Those I think are PTS grip, and they are okay, but I don't like one thing. As you can see, the screw screwing into the plastic, so it doesn't have metal tabs, so I don't like that. The base plate is not ventilated, so if you have a motor that gets hot, it doesn't help cooling it. What I'm using is just a small, really small flat screwdriver that helps removing the motor connector. You just go under it and put it up like so. That motor got a hard life, man. Holy shit. So I don't know if you can see on the bottom, but there's 2 or 4 screws. Depend on your pistol grip and on your gearbox, because that pistol grip basically just screw into the gearbox. Yeah, but it's 2 or 4 screws, it depends. Like I said, mine got 4 screws, and that's the reason why I like those APS gearbox. They are not the most solid and all that stuff, but one thing I like is they got 4 screws and they are super cheap, so just throwing that out there. I'm gonna try to do that on camera, but it's basically just unscrewing screws. So if you don't have a magnetic screwdriver, that's almost better, because those screws will stay in place, so you don't have to fight with it to put them back in. Sometimes that's because I'm not really seeing what I'm doing, but like I did, I'm using the wire to kind of let the screw goes, so they stay in their hose. That's done, and I just need one more. Sometimes it's a little hard to see in there, so you know, sometimes using a flashlight to look what you're doing, it's a good idea. So then you can pull it out, and as you can see, your motor wire need to go on those holes that you see on the bottom, or might not see. I'm gonna try to show you. So you know, you have holes, and you just need to align those wires in there, and kind of, you know, pry them out of there. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it doesn't want to come out. It depends. So like that one just doesn't want to come out, so I'm just using my screwdriver to put it out like so. So that's it. Now your wires are exposed, are out of there. As you can see, I got a lot of yeah. So I'm just gonna clean it quick. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff in there. Just a little clean up. I'm gonna put back the screw that came out. Put it back in there. I don't know if you can see that, let's show you. But that's basically what it looks inside. You have like 4 screws or 2 screws, it depends, and you have 2 holes for your wires. So that's pretty much it. So at the same time, you can inspect your motor. As you can see, there's a lot of grinding going on against the gearbox, so the angle is not perfect, but you know, I don't really mind, because the work's working. The gun is working super good, so whatever. And you can see your connector right there. Everything is good, everything is clean, no damage whatsoever, no damage on the pinion gear. So this is the gear that goes against the bevel gear, and that spins everything. So as you can see, this is a D type. You have O type and D type. You can see with the shape of the head of the pinion gear, that's a D shape, and the D shape have a grub screw in there. O shape is just pressed against the shaft of the motor. So this is I think it's a ZCI high speed. It's iTorque. That's a ZCI iTorque. Yeah, high speed or black. So that's why it's a super strong motor. I think it's 20 PTP or something like that. So that's pretty good, you know, for M120 like that. And you can see by the strength of the magnets in it, that's a good motor, you know. No, I can't. That's a strong motor. So that, when you have a neodymium magnet in there, if you have a good motor, normally you have neodymium magnet in there, so that's a good way of knowing if your motor is good, just showing that out there. So now we have to put it back. So we do what we did, but you know, in the opposite order. So we put back our motor our wires in there, with the motor connectors in their hose. I want to do it on cam, but I don't see because of the So your wires are there. I just put them. What I'm doing personally is I put the black wire on the on that side, and the red wire I'm doing it, you know, like all the way like that, and on that corner on the bottom, so the motor is pressed that way against the wires. So you know, you can configure do different configuration for the way to put your motor, your wires in, and all that stuff. But personally, that's what I'm always using, except if that gives the motor an angle or whatever. So now you just have to screw your 4 screws. And I don't have a lot of light in there, that's a little bit, yeah. So that's a good idea. For me personally, what I'm doing is I just, you know, screw them a couple of turns to make sure they're all in the threads, and then I'm tightening them after that, because sometimes if you tight one and one, right off the bat, you know, that can gives the motor a bad angle, and the other one doesn't fit, especially if you have 4 screws. So that's, I'm just gonna try to look what I'm doing here, because sorry for that, because with the shadows I don't see. So that one is tight, but don't tight them too much, because you know, you can strip those out and you have to change your gearbox, so that sucks. You really don't want to strip those guys out, because you know, those are into the gearbox. So if this happens, you need to buy a new gearbox, or you know, if you don't have the money to buy a gearbox, you can try to put Loctite and, you know, just Loctite it in there, and I don't know, after that destroy your pistol grip and your gearbox, and you know, try to force that out. But that's not the best idea, but you know, I really did that, so it is what it is. So yeah, like I said, I put those 2 wires on the same side, and I put the red connector, which is the positive, on the bottom, and the black one negative on top. Now I'm just do a little bit of pressure on it, and I try to put the connector in there. So the back one is in this spot, another red one I don't know if you can see that. Yep. So they are all in their spot. The motor can go all the way, no problem. Just need to reroute that wire a little bit out of the way, you know, and then put your pistol grip. The pistol grip have two kind of metal tabs to hold it in place. So you know, when you put it in, you try to put that guy right there between the round shape in there and your motor connector. So you know, you put pressure on there, and your other tabs goes in there, so it helps putting the motor in the right angle. You do like so, and then put. So now it's perfect, it's in place. You just have to put your screws back on. And yeah, like I said, I don't like those guys because those are screws in the plastic, but you know, if you don't remove your pistol grip too often, it should not be a problem. But personally, you know, I prefer going with a ZCI pistol grip, because first of all, they are way cheaper, and second of all, they are not, you know, better quality in plastic than those guys, and the screws are screws in metal tabs, so that's, you know, way more secure. Other than that, everything is the same. You have the four so you know, that guys have four holes for the screws, and some pistol grip just don't have two, but most of the time they have four, and sometimes they have four and they give you only two screws. It is what it is. But yeah, those PTS grip are really comfortable, and I like the way it feels, you know, and all that. But like I said, you know, for the price, that's okay, you know, because they are good, but they are kind of expensive a little bit. So that's for me. But those are really good, and a lot of people using them, just, you know, going out there. So that's basically how you put, how you remove and put back your pistol grip, your motor, or your wires. So that's not a big deal. If your gun doesn't fire, that might be to your motor connector that you see. Sometimes they just pop out and all that. Because me personally, when I'm assembling them, you know, I put them against my wire, and I put a drop of I'm just doing a little drop of soldering on it to help it secure in place. So you really have to make sure to, because you know they kind of fold and then goes into the motor connector like that, so you don't need to put the soldering or the wires after that that place that it folds, but just before I put a little drop of soldering, and it helps it secure in place. It adds a little bit of resistance, some people say, but you know, I'm using MOSFET in all my guns and all that stuff, and you know, all my juice going to my motor. So anyway, that's, you know, but I might do a video on it, you know, all the wiring, all the MOSFET, and all those motor connector and all that stuff. I think I'm gonna do a video on it, because if you don't know how to do that, that's, you know, that's something that's kinda important, because you know, I will not say it happens really often if, you know, everything is done properly, but your motor wires can just get hot and, you know, get out of place. You can sometimes, you know, the orientation of the motor connector, you know, they kind of bend it, put them in place, and with time, you have bad contact, so your gun doesn't work properly. And yeah, and back there too, whereas you put your buffer tube on that, you can see your wires are gonna go in there. Sometimes they are just not in a good way into that little. You have like a little tabs that you can place your wire in there, and then you have your screw with the head that secure the buffer tube in place, and sometimes they kind of jam a wire in there, and so that's a good thing to know. That's a good thing to know, to how to wire your gun, how to do all your motor connectors, how to put your DINS connector if you want to. Personally, I really recommend a DINS connector because Tamiya sucks. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do a video of that. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any question or whatever, just go on there. I don't mind. If not, there's a lot of forums, on how to do, but that's a super basic, like job to just replace that or remove it or whatever. But if you don't know, but don't be afraid. It's just screws, and you can really fuck that up. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. So that was the AIRSOFTEK, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one.